Hey everybody, welcome back to X's for Show, your premier media response show. We are of course doing our final broadcast of the new year because there's just kind of legitimately not more time. That makes me Nico, and you guys can check me out at Nico Action all over the interwebs.
Do it, Jonah.
Hi, I'm still in this box. I haven't left. I'm Peak Jonah, P-E-A-K, and that's where you can follow me.
And I'm TK. You can find me at TK Elemental.
And I'm your producer, Kevo, and you can find me at Kevo Really. And we are here talking about a whole bunch of fun drag race stuff.
I hear me. It's amazing.
Who has the show on?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
He's producing, so you know.
Yeah, I have to keep an eye on the video on my phone, and I forgot that the volume is on. Sorry.
You good?
So, welcome everybody to what can only be described as the year that changed this show, this network, this product forever. And it's not just what we are here to talk about today, which is, of course, Drag Race and all of its 2023 goodness. But, you know, this show had been two separately distinct things. It had been a comic show and a sci-fi kind of review show. And we brought them together. And more people checked us out doing Drag Race this year than those things we started with, which tells us, number one, hey, new fans, we love you. Number two, man, do people really love Drag Race?
It tells us to be a lot gayer, is what it tells us.
So gayer.
And it's funny, like, we are all comic, sci-fi, TV, movie fans, but we're also Drag Race fans. So, you know, it feels like the crossover goes in one direction and not the other as much, though I do hope to kind of change that. And I've been excited about some queens that have helped to bridge that gap, and one in particular from the upcoming season of US that I'm super excited about.
And like, part of me feels like I can't explain to you for the life of me why there aren't more, and I guess there's just like no way to put it, but like cosplaying drag queens who just lean into the absurdity of the sci-fiism. Like, you know, I feel like, oh God, I'm going to get it wrong. Ornacia. No, I did it. I feel like Ornacia should only be the tip of the iceberg, yet instead she's kind of like a mini boss.
Well, and you know, there is a lot of sort of unspecified understanding that the show really doesn't want you cosplaying because that bleeds into rights concerns. So
Dax.
So you do. I love this. This is brand changed forever. So you do run into some issues there, and as early as season 7, we saw how bad it could get. I don't really understand how Fifi ever got away with that Riddler look on All Stars 2, but
like trademark question marks.
Like, has Riddler ever showed up in that dress? No, then it's inspired by it.
Excuse you. I don't think you've read every appearance of the Riddler.
Mama, I got going on.
I gotta be honest. I feel like that is the true Edward Nygma of the situation.
What'd you just call me?
Oh, now one of the things that I really want to connect with about everything that we're talking about with this wacky drag race road is that this year saw some really cool firsts for the brand, and we're going to talk about those later on. But this year wasn't just us absorbing every single thing in all of Drag Race, but this was also about absorbing this year's amazing Drag Race content. And there were some unbelievable moments in 2023 to be all about. And I think, for me, if our big question is top Drag Race moment of 2023, I think for me, I probably have it like as a tie between Sasha Colby's Goddess moment, which just changed the game, and also and I can't explain it in any other way, but the James Joyce Dubliner's Length novel, I could do a The Dead size project in reaction to Candy's face when Jimbo won. I've never seen a human be sadder and more resigned. That must be what the losing side of a war signing the contract looked, but she held it together. She looked beautiful. She looked like a model, like a murderous Linda Evangelista.
I mean, that's a really good one, too, because that was, according to the background information that everybody talks about, very set up in Jimbo's favor with a lot of resistance from Candy. So it's not just that she lost. And that was a big theme for this year and for these seasons. You saw a lot of disappointed faces that weren't just like, oh no, I lost Drag Race, but like, I lost the back end game with the producers where they're like, well, we're going to do a song that your opponent wrote, created, did all of the choreography for, and has their own backup dancers. And you have to do the whole thing with a broken ankle, but it's an equal competition. So either of you could win.
You always come out a little bit like Pheromone in that situation.
Yeah.
Very,
There's Charlie Brown, Pheromone, just the classic.
Charlie Brown
can't catch a fucking break. People, there he is, just sachet Shantae.
Sorry, we don't do that over here in the UK.
I just have to say, Sasha Velour's Charlie Brown, but like art film must be unbelievable.
I agree with that.
I want to take a moment to give some audience shout outs because we have some people watching with us. We have Tori, couldn't miss the final stream of 2023, even if I barely know what's up with Drag Race. We
love you, Tori.
We have old friend of the show, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Happy New Year. Good to see you there.
Hey, Kyle.
Love you, Kyle.
Tori, that she's so proud of her fave guys and all we've created this year. We are also very proud of everything we've done this year. 2023 has been a long year. This has been a long month. This is our record number of broadcasts in a month. Very proud.
Very Christmas.
And it's not 30.
No, and it's not 30, as some slow mathematicians might have guessed today. Some of us aren't having great math days. Some of us are on vacation. Right, Bub?
You think I'm a mathematician?
Let me
I
ask
think
you.
you're beautiful.
Math boy, let me ask you. You have been a fan of Drag Race since what season?
Since season 7 was the first season I watched live, but before season 7 aired, I binge watched 1 through 6, as well as All Stars 1.
So you have had like eight years invested in this fandom, and this was your big, living out loud debut. And how did it feel coming back and getting to talk about a season? When 14 ended, you had no outlet. And then as 15 was on, you had a megaphone.
And now we're on from the start of 16. So, yeah.
A dream, I stat dumped charisma, not wisdom. Well, I'm pretty sure that would be intelligence. Wisdom would be the knowledge to know. The amount of time we record a week does not add up to 30. That's a little more. That part I should have. Maybe it's wisdom. Who knows? Fuck my G&D knowledge ass. But thank you. I'm glad I have a high charisma. That's all I could ever want. To answer your question, though, it's something you can only dream about, that you get to talk about something that means a lot to you. And the show means a lot to many people. We're not special in that regard. But the fact that we do get to have
No, we are special. We're very special in many regards, especially how we talk and feel about Drag Race. Watch us.
Yes.
Yeah, do that challenge. But it's, it's very enjoyable and it's very fun. And I am so glad to get to kind of see how how you guys react, because we're not a monolith. We're not an echo chamber. Everybody here has different Drag Race opinions, and it's nice and fun to kind of see how everybody reacts to the different situations. To answer the big question, the top drag moments of 2023. I'm going to give it to Canada Season 4, because Canada Season 4 is an absolute wild show. I don't know what they were doing. One, Shout out to Brooke. I think Brooke is really, personally, I think Brooke is coming into her own as a host. I think she's having a lot of fun. I think she looks absolutely stunning and gorgeous. And I also love that she dresses up to the theme. And truly, RuPaul having the trepidation of, well, I can't have one of these younger queens show me up. And Brooklyn saying, bitch, try it. You cannot come for her. In that regard. The entire cast of Canada season 4 is out cuckoo banana crazy in a way that is so enjoyable for me to watch. Queen producer who taught me gratitude, who taught me everything about my emotions, Melinda Verga, truly everything. And
I gotta say that one of the highlight quotes of the entire goddamn year is definitely, I'm kind of afraid of getting canceled for, like, what if you go on a TV show and you have a psychotic break in the middle of an episode and you scream at everybody? That might happen. Like, her self-awareness was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
And then 43 minutes later talking about, I never said that. Truly iconic.
Amazing.
Some amazing performers between Aurora Matrix and Near Enough. Some amazing designers like Kiki Ko. Like, truly, the entire cast.
R.I.P.
We'll get to that later. I truly this cast kind of blew my expectations out of the water. Canada, I often talk about it. I think Canada's kind of the stepchild of comparative to like the English speaking seasons of like UK and regular Drag Race.
Down Under.
Down Under, but Canada gets a little more love than Down Under.
But I feel like Down Under's got Rue.
Which is true, but to Down Under's detriment, it has Rue.
Oh, Wallaby, mate.
Oh, second. I believe this was this year. Second moment of this year. Go on, piss.
Oh, yeah.
RuPaul having the time of her life in Down Under because she does not care about what that series does.
What was her name?
And we loved her.
It'll come to us. But yeah, so many great moments. So many great moments. Kevo, did you have any top moments this year to get us into our episode?
I actually do. I would say my personal top drag moment from this season, beyond just us getting into Drag Race and feeling like season 15 was a really amazing season to begin with.
Yeah, y'all.
One of my top moments is probably the lip sync between Anitra and Marsha. One of the most breathtaking performances by artists I've ever seen in my life. But otherwise, I think a top drag moment for 2023 for me would be what we are going to be covering right up top here. Or, no, I have my stuff. I have my order of script flipped around. I'm going from the episode cover order, not our script. But if you're going from the episode cover, this on the left here is my top drag moment. Because I really love us seeing more diversity of drag content like we've been asking for. This was a really cute piece, Glam Slam, and I was excited to watch it. I would love to see more. I'd love to see more stuff like it. And so that for me was a really cool surprise for us to have at the end of this year.
TK, did you give your top drag moment of the year yet? Well, then
No.
I need it. I desperately need it. Throw it
If
at
you
me.
make yours from Canada right now, you can segue us into the episode finally. It probably won't
Oh, no, it's definitely not.
You lob it New Zealand style like a fish at me.
So it's Anitra the talent show is like the early answer that I'll give, but I have another one that just popped up that most people missed, but I laughed so hard I didn't think I would be able to contain myself. In the Meet the Queens for the season 16 girls, when they did their individual interview segments, Dawn, for one thing, they're answering questions without any context. Like they're not, you don't see what the question is.
Yeah, they
and
just give the
sometimes,
answer.
yeah, sometimes they'll just be like, oh yeah, you know, shoes and pants, whatever, and you don't know what the question was. But other times they'll say, and in this case, Dawn says, "Am I a Drag Race fan? Pull up in the Sri Lanka." And she got it so good. The timing was so perfect, and I just laughed so hard. And I love Dawn. I'm very excited about Dawn. So that was my favorite moment from a season that hasn't happened yet.
So then you, like me, tied it into the cover photo, just not for the first thing we're covering.
Yes, I don't really care
So we
about
didn't
Canada,
have
to be
this.
honest.
I do and I don't, bro.
My
I do and I
apologies
don't.
to our great neighbors from the north.
Sorry guys.
Gee.
It's Brad. Brad's bringing the whole thing down for me. Can we bring back Jeffrey?
I don't know. Maybe we just need to use our judges better. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, one of the things that really has my attention about this season of Canada is the talent is out of this world.
Yes.
The challenges are absolutely spectacular.
Mm.
The competition is fierce.
Mm.
But I think what makes it really a special season is every time I watch it, I want to throw myself down the stairs to frame someone else for murder style in reaction to the judging. And I keep not knowing what to do with that.
I mean, that's become the entire World of Wonder production brand. Like, that's throughout all judging of all drag races, at least the American or the English speaking ones. There's probably nuance lost in the other ones, but like I bet that's happening there too. For me, what I particularly love is everything you said, plus the fact there is a level of unhinged conflict, that like Melinda Verga conflict, but then they're all really good friends. And so the fact that they have these explosive fights that actually seem like Kimberly Shaw is about to blow up Melrose Place, and then the next day they're like, that was just so weird, girl, that's so silly. And
Let's
then
just routine over it and move on.
I really like, I'm thinking Near Enough is about to pull out a switchblade and just cut out Amy Yonce's heart, and then 5 minutes later they're like, we're over it now. It's fun. That's fun.
I do think that Near Enough could probably take any of these girls in a fight.
Yes.
She's just got that intensity in her eyes, and that's an intensity that I think Near Enough would slay on a US season.
Especially if chest hair stubble counts as a weapon.
I think that Rue would love that fire that Nira brings. She is such a dedicated competitor. I'll be honest, I don't know that her style of drag is for me. I think it's a very valid style. But like the things I maybe go for are just a little bit different. I think she's a really incredible dancer. She's got incredible pageant element to her as well, with like, the way she likes to put together a look and have a story with it. A lot going on there. It's just tough when you recognize the very competitive, very talented forerunner in several episodes is not your queen. I'm here for Venus. I'm here for Kitten.
No, she's no longer with us.
She got run over.
Meow. That was a little rough, but how are you guys feeling about this season? I mean, I think the forerunners are Nira and Aurora. Well, and Venus.
My prediction going into next week in the finale, I think next week, if Denim doesn't win, Denim is going home. Because we're at the point where Denim kind of needs to grab a win, and the makeover challenge is definitely within their wheelhouse. I think, and now I don't know, so I'm not a spoilerina. I don't do any of that personally. I just like being surprised when stuff happens. I do think Nira isn't going to make it to the finale. It's either Nira or Denim getting cut next week. But I do think no matter what, the top two is going to be the same between Venus and Aurora Matrix. The way the edit is shaking out, the way the things have gone throughout the season, the way they've both showcased themselves, I think those are our best for winners. I think those two probably have the best edits also for a winner edit to kind of give us this idea of these are the people that we should be rooting for. These people are going to win. I love Melinda. I don't know if Melinda can win. There's a different. I wouldn't be upset if Melinda won. I'd be very happy, but I think Melinda needs a little bit more time in the oven in terms of just getting the makeup
60!
Right, getting the makeup right, getting the hair right, getting the outfit right, and all that with being on Drag Race and having more booking fees, getting the money, seeing yourself and being like, oh, this is what I should be doing different. All of that comes after. So I personally think Melinda could slay in All Stars or in All Winners. I don't think this is her season.
the response to her has been so overwhelmingly positive since the meltdown that I do wonder if she makes it to the top 3. I do kind of wonder if they're telling if the producers are airing her win. But yeah, I mean, you know, I basically agree with what everybody else is saying. Nira to me has a very big Roxy Andrews vibe in terms of, I think she is a winner in the community. She is a girl who I think a lot of queens would be like, I want to go see her live. She turns a show. But there are a lot of those queens that don't win Drag Race because it's a different thing. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see her really high up there, but I maybe don't see her winning. Venus, my only thing is like she's getting a little samey. And I just wonder, you know, a part of it is you don't know what the last few challenges are going. What?
Something I've noticed, and I did not mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I don't care enough about this to monologue too much.
Bless. One of the things that I really, by the way, side note on What If in the 1602 episode, Loki at one point goes, bless. And like that is, it really, it validates every decision I've made this year, actually.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've really been struck by is how often they just cut in Venus having an opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's so outrageous how much they are just including Venus coming. And I love Venus. She won me over. I'm an enormous fan. Really, really. But it is it's almost unseemly how much production is cutting her and being like, I know I wasn't a part of this fight. I have no stake in it. And if I get involved, it will probably make things worse. But here are the 7 reasons you're all on my list.
Venus and Aurora are the Brenda and Kelly. The show has just decided that they're the girl protagonists. They are insane. They are problematic queens that we will be following into hell.
And it explains why you were so into the girlfriend experience, because she's very obviously the gender...
Emily Valentine.
I was going to say the gender reversed Brandon.
If we're reversing genders for this, then yeah, I definitely see that.
She's got that absolutely the girlfriend experience. She's got that Brandon cool. That what do you hang out about?
If you don't have a '90s leather jacket, what you have is a girlfriend experience type of moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I also think my Emily Valentine suggestion was very astute, but you know.
What you got, Kevo?
This is that kid who shot himself in the face.
Oh yeah, in front of David. That was a great episode. What a riot. I was gonna
Matrix graduates.
I was gonna say it was the girl who plays the mom on Scream who tries to kill herself when she doesn't get the part in the college play. But
no.
It very much, the show has decided that Aurora and Venus are our girls. And the thing, I feel like I sometimes wonder, like, does Canada make a lot of rookie mistakes that Drag Race made in seasons 2 through 4? Because it's new, or like, and like their crew is doing their own thing? Because like Drag Race back in the day would get a little too focused on the girls that they liked in a way that they couldn't edit around. So if the girl ended up not being a fan favorite, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by banking early in the writing and editing on those girls being the ones they follow. That like they didn't really fix it until Sherry Pie. Like after Sherry Pie, they learned to completely rework the way they do things in case it turns out that the girl they choose is a complete and total weird fucking pervert.
Turns out Sherry Pie was not a sweet surprise.
No, sir.
Oh my God!
She did make a grown man cry.
Yes.
But so I kind of
the food name.
I definitely wonder if they banked on these girls a little hard, because I feel like they didn't predict that everybody would go from being like, oh, Melinda's insane, to being like, Melinda is mother, Melinda is insane, and like having so much fun with it. And now they're kind of stuck in this place where I think she probably won't. I don't think she's going to win. I think she probably won't make it to the top 3, but like they're not really prepared for the response people had to her.
No, that happens a lot with Drag Race, where Drag Race will put their eggs in certain people's baskets because they do well in the performance. They think these people will be likable, or these people help with their narrative of the story they're trying to tell throughout the season. However, there's usually like 1 or 2 queens that they don't expect to kind of break through. I think for us and for the fan base at large, it happens to be Melinda. The outburst was so iconic, so unhinged. Her level of delusion is very fun to see happen, and we also got to see her have those human moments of kind
I was going to say she ultimately apologized
and made such good humor of herself.
Yeah,
Person.
It's like after that aired, we talked about it. She profusely like felt, she was like, I'm embarrassed. I was really regretting this, and to see the outpour of love. That everything where people like Melinda's mother, Melinda's the producer, while there is a jokey element, I know a lot of it does stem for love. It's not really malicious. Like there is a genuine amount of love for this queen, which I cannot.
And I think it
her.
helped that where she was coming from wasn't a place of maliciousness herself. This wasn't her being nasty. She was upset by a situation, but it wasn't her being like vindictive or anything. She was just having an excessively human moment.
And, she was sort of in the unfortunate position of, I think every one of us has had that moment where we are that child in the Toys R Us. And I think Melinda had the moment in the Toys R Us, but she had it as a beautiful, incredibly talented adult. She
on
had
television.
On television.
Yeah.
In makeup, in heels. And
oh my God.
I think you're so lucky if you catch your audience in a moment where we all say like, there but for the grace of God go I as an adult, because that's the thing is like we all do it. It just sometimes like we all thank our lucky stars that it doesn't happen in a certain amount of public.
Yes.
And I think that's why I hate to use this example, but it's why people ended up loving Michael Scott in The Office so much, because like we have all been that stupid and just not gotten caught. Not consistently, not every day of our lives, not, in a management position, but we have all said something stupid. We've all misread a signal and gone too far and just been like, oh my God, that was my Michael Scott moment. And thank God nobody talks about it or remembers it. And this one like really happened and we all watched it. And I think sometimes, we've seen it happen. And the other thing about it is there are undertones of race, so many things, so many factors can I think like Silky Nutmeg Ganache is a great example of somebody who did a lot of stuff we've all done that is not great, but because she was
have monopolized Miley Cyrus. Yes, I do have monopolized Miley Cyrus.
Yes, you legit have. So
have monopolized.
But she is a fat black queen, and so it was really easy for people to not just make fun of her, but to like essentially try and scorch the earth. Yeah. And I give so much credit to the Silkies of the world for really bouncing back from that. This is that's not to say that Melinda doesn't deserve as much credit for how she's responded as well. But like, man, these reactions go all over the place. And it's such a reminder that like everybody's got to fucking cool it with fandom on these shows. I always try and be really careful with how I react. Just because I think we all, if the 4 of us are sitting at home on a video call watching and I say something horrifyingly nasty, I don't really care because I'm never going to get on Twitter and post that. But it's every time I do that, I think to myself, somebody absolutely is getting on Twitter and posting that right now. And it's a bummer sometimes, but this was cute. It ended up fun and great. And the memes are fantastic.
truly, I always want to encourage people that energy you want to put into saying something mean, nasty, vile about somebody who is a person who, despite them being on TV for our entertainment, these are real people. They're not, robots or characters. These are people with feelings. And I would always more so recommend, instead of sending that queen hate, send the queen you love. Just do that. Just because everybody loves love. Everybody say love.
Love.
You putting your energy into uplifting the queens you love will go over so much more better in the fan base ever than trying to tear somebody down. You don't need to do it.
If you really need to, though, Republican senators and congresspeople, always a fantastic option.
Go for
Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, really good options.
Well, can I challenge with something really that I'm trying to think of better ways to say? Like, when I want to say, and I'll pick on a queen that I think is flawless and is perfect and can do no wrong. If I ever want to say that Lucy LaDuca maybe missed the mark with her design challenge that week.
What?
I just want you to know that what I was intending to make, I totally made. I love her so much. But if I were to say, like, I thought Lucy did a bad job, that's a terrible way to say it. But if I were to say something like, I hope that next challenge, Lucy is able to tie into a few more of her strong suits and find what makes her design come alive in a design challenge. Like, there's ways to say critical things where you don't agree with people. Like, honestly, I think Neera Nuff is so talented. I think she is an absolute star. She's just not my personal favorite style. So instead of saying I know as a fact, I don't tend to go listen to Zydeco music, but there's no reason for me to come on the internet and be like, man, I hate Zydeco music. I never play it. No, I might not go see Neera, but I wish her luck. I wish her well. I hope that her shows sell out, and I hope that she continues to help drag be a success because she is talented. And I think that's what this Canada season offers us. So many talented queens that you just seem like an ass if you come for them.
One of the things I really do appreciate about Neera, and it's a deep level of respect, is you said this before, TK, and I want to circle back to a little bit, that this season really harkens to that very early silver bronze age of Drag Race, where they don't care how they act. They don't care about a fan reaction because to them, that's not a thing. Back in seasons 2 to 5, really, 1 to 5. That wasn't a thing. You didn't think about how the fans are going to react to what you're saying. You just reacted in the moment.
Because it was like 100,000 people that you could never really hear that much from them.
It was
logo.
Yes, and it was on Mondays. Drag Race wasn't in the cultural zeitgeist, and drag still, even up until that point, wasn't still as an art form in the zeitgeist. It was still more in those fringe queer spaces that you really kind of had to go look for to see drag performances and drag events. But the way Neera conducts herself in a way of, I don't care if you like me or hate me. I do not care about the fans' reaction. I know I'm the shit. I'm talented, and I'm going to give it to you. And I respect that confidence and that brazenness. Just go, I don't care what you think of me. I'm here to win. I'm going to win. And that's what it is. Like me or hate me, you're still watching me. I don't know. I don't root for her for that reason, but I respect the hell out of her for this attitude, because it's nice and refreshing to see people not be afraid of the fan base. The fan base, I think, if they love you, it's great, and if they don't like you, I wish you the best, and I hope you have medical insurance for your therapist for the amount of things that they can do.
Canada is a weird situation because money-wise, if you are sticking with Canada, if you are not trying to Jimbo your way to LA, you are Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, maybe a little bit over towards me and like the Prince Edward Islands, Halifax, but that's like maybe a couple queens.
Is there not I honestly don't know. All I really know is Sarah McLachlan and, network special edition box sets. Is there not really like a passionate like drag culture around like Nova Scotia or?
Well, that's what I say. That's like Prince Edward Island. That's
Oh,
Halifax.
my
But
bad.
that's like even so that those cities aren't big. The Halifax is not. Halifax, I think, is smaller than Portland.
Wow.
And it's Halifax and Portland are very similar cities. So like not inactive. There's a lot of stuff there, but everything is like a little pint size. You know, no buildings are all 7 stories or smaller. That type of situation. So if you are not trying to transition out of being a Canadian superstar, and believe me, you can have a successful money-making life in Toronto and never leave. But you also have to worry about far fewer people liking you. You have to worry about having to tour far fewer places. You don't have to have appeal in New York, Miami, Atlanta, LA, Phoenix, Arizona, you know, the college circuit of. So I think
Six Flags is.
exactly. So I think people like Nira are fascinating because I think they kind of know there's some security in their work if they're gonna just be Canada's drag superstar. And I find it fascinating contrasting that with like Australia and the UK, because all of these places you can see queens. Like, I don't think your Michael Maroulis are desperate to get to LA. I think they're very happy to be throughout England and, you know, other places in Europe too. But like some queens, you know, like Bag of Chips, the Vivian, those girls wanted to go international and be all over the place and be beloved. And
Danny
as they
Beard.
should, everybody should have, you know, the goals that they want to have. But it's pretty fascinating the career that you can have if you say, I don't need to appeal to 250 million people or more. I'm good with 55 million. And then your behavior gets to be very different because 55 million people with the platform that these girls have, that's actually not that hard to get that many people to appeal to you. And that's a lot of bookings and gigs. But when you bump yourself up to that, like 500 million people gotta love you all over the world, you're playing a very different game when it comes to how you behave. And sometimes that game is really boring and stupid and I hate watching you. Where the Nira's like, yeah, maybe kind of like Nico, I'm not like, this is the show I gotta see this year. But man, did the fight with Amy Yonsei make for some great TV.
Well, you know, I look very forward to some great TV from Canada, who has to wrap their season pretty quickly because the news cycle belongs to Mama real soon.
Can I ask one final question?
I was about to
for
say,
Canada?
so we're doing a Canada wrap up, so everybody's got their last thoughts. What's your last question on Canada?
So, congratulations to Aurora for being the first person to win 2 challenges. Her ballet, I really enjoyed her in the challenge. She had comedic movements and really kind of, I think, gave us what we needed for this musical. My shady question is, do you think Kiki really lost that lip sync? Because I don't know. I thought they did decently around the same level, but I really thought Kiki was going to stay.
I think Kiki suffers from not having a sensibly marketable drag persona. She's beautiful. She's so funny. She's so charming, but she's not an action figure character. She's not a doll ready to go. And I think, yeah, there was when a queen's on the bottom like 11 times in 4 episodes, you got to at some point say production changed their mind on her early on. And it's this unique system for this season that I think kept her in so long.
She's another one who I'm like versus the world, you know, getting to show up in amazing outfits for 6 episodes rather than 12. There's somebody who could go very far. You know, one of the smartest things Drag Race as a brand ever did was refuse to answer the question of, if you have the better track record throughout, but fail in that lip sync, is the lip sync the only thing that matters? Or when you say a lip sync for your life, it's that might be the one extra point that balances out in somebody's favor, because I do think that Kiki won that lip sync, but I think overall Denim has been noticeably better, to the point where I would say this lip sync, Kiki didn't win it by so much that it outweighs. And the show never really answers that question. So sometimes the person who won the lip sync by a country mile, but has been terrible throughout the competition, Cameron Michaels, every episode where she won the lip sync, that person wins, even though I don't think they should, because they haven't been that good throughout the show. And then other times, the two people both do good, they both do fine, and one of them clearly has the track record, or even one of them has the track record but didn't win the lip sync, but they stay because, you know, you can say like, it wasn't that big a deal either way. And I think that's a really smart ace up production sleeve that they've never fully given anybody an answer on.
I really love and definitely second everything that you just said. And the only point that I want to make to elaborate on that point is it really draws my attention to, you know, we say all the time, it's RuPaul's Drag Race. So it's what she decides, it's what she says goes. And I think on a show like Canada, as I lovingly labeled it, RuPaul's Canada's Drag Race is season 4. She's not here.
Yep.
So, you know, I get and respect what you're saying in terms of between the two of them who has more of a Ru aesthetic, but it is really interesting to watch choices like that when Ru is not really directly involved in the decision.
And it's a very cool thing about the Canada brand, because they really talk about how they share in the decision, but they only mention it. We never see them even say, like, what did you think? Well, what did you think? There's no indication of how they deliberate. We only know that Canada does things slightly differently, in that the buck does not stop with one judge at any point. It is shared amongst all three. But similarly, there is a point at which a decision gets made. And it's just interesting that Canada uniquely has the feature, among English-speaking drag races anyway, uniquely has the feature of it being semi-democratic.
You heard it here. There is no democracy in the U.S.
Just as Ru would like it if she could become president.
She would be a Ru-tator.
It sounds like she is a potato. That's
I was about to say, yikes.
Delicious.
All right. Does anybody have any closing thoughts on Canada before we find ourselves in the finale? And then before you know it, the U.S. debut of season 16.
Well, next week's at the finale.
No, but we're almost there.
We're two weeks away.
And we might not care again until the finale because the new season is starting. So we'll see.
It's just a hop, skip, and a poutine away.
That's your second poutine joke. You better hope there's not an opportunity for a third one.
Oh my God, I can only dream.
Or I'll call the police.
Yes. Get the gendarmerie after me. Let's see what happens. And just speaking a little French for our French viewers.
Yeah.
What's next?
Glam Slam, which I finally said right. One thing I want to say about Glam Slam.
Ham.
In 8 episodes of Glam Slam, I got a better season of Project Runway than I got from Project Runway's 20th anniversary. Big bummer.
Man, you really soured on that.
That season fell apart so hard, bro.
We're praying.
I thought this was just like, number one, whenever you have Monet exchange on screen, you're exchanging your time for charm. And I think Monet is one of the most charming queens, bar none. The arm candy she brought with her was real hot. Didn't really add anything to the show for me. Thank you, Rob.
Boo. You're the worst, Rob. You look like a cadaver.
I do understand that he has some negative feels about polyamory, and as a poly person, ew. But I thought that this show gave me 3 things. Number one, I finally have an opportunity to mostly unironically like Thorgy. Love Thorgy. Oh my God, that image, you king. Number 2, Lux Noir London, I get you now. I'm super about who you are. We would have never been friends for a trillion reasons. I don't think we would have even mutually respected each other from a distance, but I'm glad we both exist because we're both awesome. And number 3, this show reminded me that just because you deal in fashion, are a seamstress, and evidently have worn clothes before, it doesn't mean you know what clothes look like.
God
Yeah.
bless you. I love her, but Pigeon, no.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen on a clothing challenge on a TV show ever, and I watched Don't. Right, Glam Slam me. No, don't, no. Glam Slam yourselves.
This was just a great idea. It was a great product. I sometimes thought it lagged a little bit in the middle of episodes. And I really don't like Rob Anderson, and I do think giving him the middle of the episode often to, oh, thank you, Kevo. You're the perfect screen capper. Giving him the middle of the episode to go talk to the queens is usually where an episode would flag for me. And so, whatever to that. But I thought this was, you make a great point in terms of like, this is Drag Race's Project Runway. It's a great chance to see everybody looking great, but also comfortable. Like that's a thing is like, they have to look the exact same for confessionals, which is not how it always used to be, you youngsters. They used to just throw on whatever was in the fucking hotel room to go into confessionals in those early seasons. But now they have to have like one thing, and I sometimes think they make bad choices that they then can't take back because that hat was what you wore on day 1. So you're wearing that hat for...
I just want to add to that. That's one of the things I loved about this season of Canada, seeing Raja out of drag.
Yeah,
was one of my favorite moments in 2023. Just seeing her be beautiful, comfortable, and amazing. Yes.
Can I do a quick anecdote about confessional looks?
Yes.
Because it ties into Canada.
Yes.
Brooke talks about, so Brooklyn in her confessional had the red sweatshirt jacket and the white t-shirt underneath.
Oh yeah.
And that wasn't her planned look. She actually had a look that she specifically planned, like, this could be my confessional look. And they went to go try it, and they're like, no, we can't use this. And she was like, what? And they're like, no, you can't wear this for your confessional. I'm sorry, you have to. What you're wearing is fine. You'll just do it like that. And so she had to just do it what she happened to be wearing that day.
Was it like it didn't sit with the colors right? Or?
I don't remember if it was specifically the color or if it gave the Moyer effect. Like there was something wrong that it didn't read right on camera. I don't remember the specific elements of that story. But it did happen.
Yeah, I mean, people wind up in some real looks, and it was nice just to see everybody get to come in clothes that they chose but were comfortable. Drag is very painful, and while so many of these girls love doing it, love being in it, it is usually for a purpose, and to show up for something like this and have to be super uncomfortable and then work is not the most fun. So to see everybody get to be comfortable and look good, like I think about Robin and Lux especially, who look really like handsome. They look really great.
Olivia too,
yeah, and they look comfortable.
I was a little surprised that Milk stayed out of their pod for so long, because I think
they have a rechargeable pack now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Batteries.
I was so worried
baby.
their people couldn't stay stabilized in our reality for so long.
Yeah,
so
it's like when the doctor gets the mobile emitter from Andy Dick.
Yes.
Yeah. Andy Dick is making sure that Milk
we got to the
keeps it together.
Episode. I love that conflation of data.
Something also fun about this is, out of the 8 queens there, 6 are known for performing, being in New York. Lucy spent letting loose. Lucy spent a large amount of time in New York. I don't know if Robin has a lot of connection to New York as performance based because
I mean, it's a very quick train ride away.
Yes, it is. But it was just very funny that they're like, oh, it's my Brooklyn sister. Oh, it's my Brooklyn sister. Oh, it's my New York sister. Oh, that's my sister. Yeah.
You people were literally the closest ones that had the schedule for this. We all know that.
I'm Jan. I'm in New Jersey. I'm sporty. Look at all my cutoff shirts.
This is not the drag her, but Jan's boy name is Charles, and I just love that. It's just Charles.
Just Charles.
Charles. Makes a lot of sense.
No,
Like,
but
Mama.
Yeah, you know, everybody was having fun. Nobody was that. I love a thing where nobody's that invested because I'm not that invested.
I'm serious. Well, everybody but Lux.
Lux came into the Robin episode very fiery in a way that I thought was fun, but when she won, she pulled back and
yes.
You know, I thought this really I have really come to I've during Lux's season, I liked Lux, I think, more than you did, Nico, but I was always on the edge of my seat and on my toes a little bit. Like, I don't want her to get a Vixen edit. I don't want her to say the wrong thing and not have people like her. But what has happened in the past year is I have seen over and over again, in the best way, I say this with so much love and respect and like support, Lux genuinely doesn't fucking care if you don't like her. Lux thinks she is so great, and not in that way of like this poor delusional idiot thinks she's so great, she's terrible. In that way of she is so confident that even if she doesn't win the season or the challenge or whatever, she still knows she's so good. She does not need your approval.
It is Barbara refusing to perform at the Oscars because The Mirror That Had Two Faces was not nominated for Best Director, but was nominated for Best Song, and it was supposed to be her and Bryan Adams. Barbara Streisand didn't care.
I don't know. To me, it's a little bit Gina Linetti, where it is a little bit, it is a touch of delusion, where it feels a little bit like if she doesn't win, well, I never wanted it that bad anyway. You did a second ago, and that's not confidence. That is a smidge of delusion.
A lot has happened in 43 minutes.
That's fine. I feel like that's what holds me back from really, really loving her, because I feel like there needs to be a little bit more humility, a little bit more awareness. But I do appreciate the confidence, and you know, this moment was really funny, where they were like, she's not doing anything. She's not doing anything. But then whose look actually ended up turning it out?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that Robin's look is cute and maybe perhaps constructed better, but which one is actually better? No, it is Lux. And I'm not going to deny that. I really do agree that she's very talented, but I just need a little bit more growth, humility from her.
You make a really good... Sorry, go ahead, Jonah.
I was going to say, I think some of that will just come with age and experience.
Yes.
She's very young.
Probably.
Lux is like, I think she was 21 when she filmed season 15.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah.
You make a really good point. I think my thing is I'm the person that is so hyper aware of appearing delusional that I sometimes really gravitate towards the Valentinas and the Luxes and the people who are so okay with doing that exact thing of being like, well, I didn't even want it anyway, when we all saw that you did. Sometimes I think you need that type of delusion to get through the day. And I sometimes think it makes people more successful than
it
not.
Helped me tremendously.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, like, I personally see myself a lot of times go, well, I said I really wanted it, so now I can't be like, no, I didn't. I have to be self-deprecating and be like, yeah, I wanted it and I didn't get it because I'm a loser.
No, I was only focused on this because this one was going on now, but there's a different competition that I'm more interested in that's next. It's just this one's finally over and I get to focus on that one.
I also think there's different kinds of delusions. I think Lux and Valentina have the very self-assured kind of delusion.
Yes.
In a way of like, they're extremely talented. They know what they're worth.
They're not Miranda Sings. Like, it's not.
They have to sort of protect and nurture that idea of no matter what, I'm going to be the best.
Yeah.
But then you have like Jan and Lucy who have a different kind of delusion, which is in the same vein, but in a way of, Oh, I think they're kind of in on it. Oh, they're a little bit smarter about like the idea of like what does delusion look like, and there's almost like they're playing the character of delusion as opposed to fully vesting into it.
Yeah, with Lux, it's not a character.
No, Lux is just that confident 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I also would love to take this moment to give props and praise to Queen of my life, Smile, the most beautiful smile in the entire world, the most polite queen we will ever see.
Thank blessed God for her.
Olivia Lux, Live Laugh Lux, if you will. Truly, from this kind of showcasing that she really has a lot of design chops, and comparative to season 13, where I think some of the looks were great, and she's always gorgeous. Like she has a great face, she has a great mug, she has this beautiful confidence when she walks the runway. But I don't know if the looks always really turned the knob for me. But I think seeing her here in a little bit of a relaxer environment of getting to kind of do what she does well, I think really was astounding. Of like, damn, this girl really knows how to make a look.
And
real quick, I think the unfortunate thing, she shouldn't have been on that season. I feel like they had her on because of the relationship professionally that she had with Rosé and a couple of the other New York queens. And I think what?
And then they didn't use it. Great.
Yeah.
Rosé talked about how she was like, I was so terrified of something bad happening because she was friends with Britta and kind of saw how
Rosé is perfect. Let's just all remember that
so
as we talk about Rosé.
Rosé just didn't really give a lot to work with.
Yeah.
But like, I know I fully agree with you. It's just they didn't use it.
Right. And I just think she seemed so comparatively unpolished and unready. And it really felt like they brought her in there to be a punching bag for particularly Britta and Rosé. And you did get a little bit of it in the first episode. And then you're right, it just absolutely disappears. And I do imagine part of it is Rosé editorializing herself and not coming off as the bully. I don't know what happened with Britta, because I think Britta would have happily actually used her as a punching bag if they had been like, do it, Britta, it'll be great TV.
Well, no, because Britta was the season prior, and then it's
right.
Britta rightfully or wrongfully dogging Aiden. All right,
that's right. Yeah.
Terrible things to Britta.
Yeah.
Kevo's got it.
If I could, yes, if I could talk about great TV that actually is from this that we haven't discussed yet, that I think was a absolutely fascinating and unhinged moment, was this fight.
Yes.
Over fabric, and not just the fight over fabric that literally got so physical. I screen capped this so you could see the judges in the back not knowing what to do. But then Lux trying to steal from Olivia's table. That's sort of what I mean, where I can't tell if she's delusional or not, because like, I don't know how much of that was a joke.
It felt like at that point it was a joke. It felt like by the grand finale, everybody was like, we're just being silly at this point.
You know,
because then she stole from the judges' table.
Yeah,
that was amazing because she was like, "Can I have this? Would it be okay?"
Rob's face.
Also,
we did not expect this.
Look at her boots.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Oh, shoe queen. You love a shoe queen.
There's another shot of them. Yeah.
Well, let's do some final thoughts on Glam Slam. How do we all feel about Olivia's win?
I feel great. Like, what else? It's great. It's perfectly fine. It's fun. It was the best look. Do more of these. Do them with other talents, please. Do a singing one. Do a comedy one. Showcase all of these people as entertainers.
do an improv challenge.
Yes.
Bring them in to have them do actual improv.
Yes.
Make people who lost at a challenge come back and show that it's not such a hard thing to get back on the horse.
Drag Race Redeemers.
Yeah. I mean, again, I would love to see Farrah show that she can do things with both feet on the ground.
Burn. She did a whole successful one and they didn't air it.
Oh, you know what?
Well, no, she said she messed up some part and she was like, well, just keep the fall in.
And maybe if we're lucky, Monet will ever sing on an episode of Drag Race the way she was always meant to, with her enormous, beautiful, incredible, breathtaking voice. Because the one real vocal we have from Monet isn't even a Monet. You know how a Monet is beautiful till you get closer and then it's just really beautiful, but it's, ugly. This is bad from far away. So, I just wish she would get a chance. That's exactly what it's like, Kevo. That is exactly Monet's vocal performance.
And maybe Rob Anderson will go back to LA and never come back.
Educate
All-Stars?
himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Educate yourself. Don't be a meanie.
All-Stars. Fair.
Which, to be fair, that voice crack was hysterical and also gave us the iconic girl, soak water. I got some of that sweat on your forehead. I love you, Monet. I'm just quoting something.
I mean, Monet is so perfect. There were so many. One of the things that I really want to comment on with this, just to kind of close this, my opinions out. Everybody else, please weigh in.
Yeah.
I truly loved seeing so much beautiful femme black excellence. This was such a cool thing to get to see, whether they are, in drag, out of drag. These black queens on drag. They're not afraid to show femininity in a world where people put so many weird restrictions on gender, on color. And this was just such a celebration of excellence. And also, I love you, Lucy. Call me anytime you want. Girl, let's go do something.
I love Monet. I thought this was just another showcase of how Monet feels comfortable in a hosting role like this, where she can banter. There were plenty of one-liners that she did in the finale where she was like, "No, thank you, with us now. I can with us now." She starts putting something on Rob, and Rob's like, "You just like this because you look at yourself." She's like, "Well, I mean, it is very beautiful," and it's like Monet is a really great yes-ander. She really knows how to
No, Rob Anderson.
No, I'm not taking any money from him right now.
Got it.
Did you have more?
Oh, Monet's great. I would love to see her host another thing.
Yeah, she's definitely an element that I would love to see come back. For as much as I am not excessively bothered by Rob, he doesn't bring a ton. He didn't bring any sort of knowledge or anything special other than being handsome and gay. So he can be replaced by a different handsome gay, and it's fine. We have plenty on this show, and we know plenty, so call us. I would love to see a little bit more refined version of this. I think a lot of this was really fun and fascinating, but especially as I was going through and getting the screen caps for this challenge and seeing how uncomfortable this gentleman was in his garment, to the point where his hand is always right there in front of his crotch and he does not look pleased. I think perhaps something that in general is a little bit less of a, this probably came together very quickly. So just a little bit more development on this as a concept would be very cool. I also had really been hoping, because of all the twin stuff, that at some point we would see Sugar and Spice appear. So maybe that for season 2 as well.
I would love to see Tick and Tack come freshen our breath.
Absolutely.
Spay and neuter, I think would have brought a really
Spick
fun
and span.
What did you just call Jonah and I?
Spana and Copita.
Wow, now you're coming for every part of my culture.
Spana Hopita?
Oh, us. I'm like, that would not be my drag name.
No, Span and Co.
I love that. We're in.
Cornucopia.
All right, anybody else got any cornucopias to add to this?
Now, what are we doing next?
A wrap up on Drag Race for 2023. We didn't just start covering Drag Race in 2023. This was the most successful year of the franchise ever. Just like this was the most successful year of our franchise love with Tasty Cake. Hey, Tasty Cake. Big pink-eyed heart shape at you too.
It's an emoji on YouTube.
Big emoji on YouTube at you too. So let's save me and let's talk for a moment about season 15. This changed my life. Big fan. Can't say anything really too critical of it, because Kevin and I are going to go back and watch the 90-minute episodes. Real excited about that. what I do want to say is, unlike Final Fantasy, where if you try to tell me that any character in Final Fantasy VIII is imperfect, I will hold your head underwater. I literally think if you try to critique them, you're wrong. I was kind of, I think, hard on these girls because I fell in love with them so much so immediately and wanted to see the universe for them, and didn't always understand how this show worked or how the world worked in regard to the show. And my desire to see these women succeed in the ways that I understood success occasionally overtook my understanding of the medium and genre. I was too hard on some of these incredible women. I was way too soft on some of them as well. But they were just people that I gave an absolute pass to, and I now understand why, as much as I think she's incredible, Lucy LaDuca did not give an A+ performance every week, no matter how much that I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Thank you, Tori.
I truly now understand why. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. This is going to upset me. So, Jax. I was like, oh, I just can't think of her name. I'm so silly. Jax is beautiful. Jax is incredible. Jax's makeup is not there yet. Jax needs 45 minutes with Raven and a notebook, and she'll be fine. But like, this season for me literally changed everything. Literally everything. Like, in my life.
I want Teak or Jono to go next because I want one of the bigger fans, and then I'll go as also a novice.
So season 15, I think, was glorious and spectacular and beautiful in many ways, more than one. One of the main being, not that I really enjoy a lot of the queens from season 13, season 14, season 12, but I think a lot of grace was lost by the fandom because production was really getting heavy-handed in a way that was just a little too visible and a little too, come on, really? And I think season 15 brought a lot of grace and from the fandom back, where it felt enjoyable. The drama was interesting. The queens were absolutely spectacular. That opening talent show, I think, was... I don't think we'll see anything ever again. Like, it is one of the most special memories for me to watching with these three beautiful gentlemen here live and us screaming, cackling, having the time of our life watching these queens do what they do best. It was, breath-changing. And I look at Sasha Colby and like, oh, that was the winner. She's always been the winner. She's everything. She's everything and more. That is God. That truly is just God walking.
Mothership.
The mothership, if you will.
The mother of mothers.
Actually, truly, like, she's going to take RuPaul's job at some point. I don't think... And I don't want to see another Sasha Colby for a little bit. I think we need a little bit of time for us to reset, to be able to appreciate another Sasha Colby.
Now is the time of Megami.
But
I love that read in the idea that not every single queen needs to be an empress. This is also just a fun yearly show, and there just needs to be a winner. She doesn't need to be global dominator.
But truly, thank you, Sasha Colby, for everything you've done for us.
All right, so Kevo, I'm gonna kick it to you. Because one of the things that I loved the most was I kept looking over at you and being like, oh no, I might be falling more in love with this than him. And you kind of looking back at me like, can you shut up and stop looking at me so loud? I'm trying to read the show. And it was an incredible experience to get to watch you fall in love with not just the show, but the bigger picture of the franchise. Nary a day goes by that I don't walk into the room, where you work and see you watching a, drag race video while working on something for the show. And it's been really amazing to see. And it all started with season 15.
Yeah. The queer umbrella is a wide thing with a lot of different interests and sects of communities. And so venturing into one for the first time is always incredibly daunting. And so it was a lot. but not as much as I might have feared. Pretty much from the first episode, I think we were taken. And yeah, this is, after all of the hundreds of episodes that I think we have watched at this point, this season is still one that I would very much, because it is the freshest, because I think it has some of the best performers and performances. This is the one that I most recommend to anyone who is looking to get into drag right now. Because I feel like the overall season play was amazing. I feel like the winner is an amazing person who definitely earned it from day one. And so, yeah, this was a really exciting process. I'm a little nervous to start 16 because this one left so much to live up to. But, like Jonah was saying, and like I chimed in on, not every season needs to be a 15. Just please be good. So...
just no sevens.
Yeah.
So, TK, how do you feel about Drag Race here with 15? And I realize I meant 9. I just can't do math because 7 is Bianca.
No, 7 is the correct one. 7 is the bad season.
Oh, because we started with 5.
Yeah, we start with 5.
It's Bianca.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
7 is the
Yeah.
bad one.
Yep, I called it.
Yep.
Sorry, 7. You guys are all 10s, but that's a rough season. TK, how do you feel about 15? One of the things that I was so excited about is that you seem to genuinely be week to week excited watching this with us, and not just like, oh, there's mostly good stuff. Some weeks are going to be boring. You were so engaged every week. How did this show play out for you this season?
Yeah, for me, a lot of it is about the production at this point. And this has been my, especially since joining up with you guys to talk about this stuff, my concerns generally have started to pull back from what's on screen or on page and have become a lot more about what's going on behind the scenes, mostly because it's unknowable. Nobody's giving away their production secrets, but it is very noticeable. And I feel much more comfortable saying production fucked up season 7 than season 7 sucked or the girls sucked. Cause the girls did not suck. The girls are amazing. The production flubbed that season. And I might be nicer about that if they would reveal what happened, because something did happen. And so, I have been rewatching the early season. I just finished 1 through 4, and it's my third watch through of those. But I've been thinking a lot about how I divide up my Drag Race eras. You really can do it, 1 through 3 or 1 through 4, and then 5 through 9 or 5 through 10. Something big changes with season 15. And part of it has to do with really fully going the MTV route, although I think less than everybody realizes, because MTV literally is just ridiculousness until the 1 hour where Drag Race airs, and then it's back to ridiculousness.
Rob Danek chokehold on MTV for years at this point.
No. Also, stunt award casting. Sometimes it'll be Nikki and Taylor looking at each other. Sometimes it's all of the guys from NSYNC take a break from their very busy Being 50 schedule.
And then it was 6 episodes of Real Friends of WeHo that were burned in a ritual.
I'm telling you, it is not that if this was not on the air, RuPaul's Drag Race would be airing 90-minute episodes, guys. It is not that we are changing your programming.
Why do you hate Todrick Hall so much, America? Anyways.
I root for Todrick Hall. He just...
No, I hate Todrick Hall. I do not root for him. He's a bad person.
Yeah, so tough.
Something big changed here, having more to do with drag as a business and a commodity and an entertainment form. It's still an art form, of course, but, people can make art films and then people can make Marvel movies, and one's going to make you enough to get some food and the other is going to make you $1 billion. This show is turning into a millions, if not billions of dollar industry. And this season in particular was a really huge shift in working towards those goals, for better and worse. There's great things about it. There's not great things about it. I
feel like your guys' Irene reaction was such a telling moment where you guys, specifically Jonah and TK, the two of you sort of said like, wow, they no longer have patience to see the season progress. There is manipulation from day one.
And they were fine letting her go. They saw a successful season that did not need Irene. And as somebody, I came in like literally 2 episodes before Jonah at the same. So I watched the finale of season 6 live.
Twinsies.
But the first season I started from the beginning was season 7, but I caught up to everything so that I could watch the season 6 finale live. But so, as somebody who watched a lot, earlier seasons would not have let Irene go because she was so funny and so good and so what Ru thought drag was in 2012, 2013, whatever, and before. They would have really kept her, and some of these other girls I don't think they would have been as worried about. And now it has changed because Sugar and Spice had 7 million TikTok followers, which again, for better and worse, because I love an Irene, I would have liked to have seen her, but Sugar and Spice appealed to a lot of people and had a great storyline, became fun characters for a large group of people to watch.
And it was very exciting that they only chose to show their true form and merge into one much larger Spice later on.
It's crack rock.
Pink salt.
It's great because it's actually just full of lead.
Oh my god! Just to compliment one of the things about this season that once again, I love being wrong. Like I actually don't do it well in the moment, but when I look back, I'm real cool about it. Right? I was wrong about Mistress. So wrong. What an unbelievable tour de force. What a beautiful human. The moment that makes me smile, and I say it all the damn time now, is gather her. That moment where she is like, I know in the premiere I shot Sugar and Spice a nasty look, but now they're my drag daughters. I love them more than anything. That's so cool. I love being wrong. And, Mistress saying I was wrong about some other people. I was wrong about Mistress. I still sing, bitch, I'm the cure for your drag delusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mistress being like, I looked at Mistress as one of the reasons why they were fine with Irene leaving, because they were very similar personality types, and just there's
big girl,
but to the universe,
a big girl where
the universe where Irene and Mistress were at least on a couple more episodes together.
I know, to really stay. And
they had to pick one.
That's one of those things where I'm like, it really is not one decision is good and one decision is bad, because I think if Sugar and Spice being on the show got a bunch more people to watch that never would have, that's great for the art form as a whole and the entertainment form as a whole. If Irene had stayed and showed newer but current viewers, people who are already convinced, what 2 girls who are deep into drag scenes interact with each other like, and how they read each other, but they love each other, that moment that you got that had to be explained to so many people where they said, do you think we don't like each other because we were reading each other earlier? Like, no, we like each other a lot. We had a great moment. That was like very educational for people. And I think in another universe where there had been more of that, the audience might have been smaller, but they might have been better educated. So there's always room to educate in the future, and there's always room to grow the audience. These are constant trade-offs. And I just had a really fascinating time watching the production change, again, watching the gaslighting, the moment that just got brought up to me. Selena S. Titties fucking slayed with that look, with the Girl Scout parachute.
What in
it was such an amazing look, and the idea that they talked about it like it was really bad just is one of those things that happens on Drag Race where you as the viewer really have to sharpen your wit with this show, because your eyes do not deceive you a lot of the time, and a lot of the time that person did win the lip sync. That person's look was really good. And the judges just force this idea that it's bad because that's the only way to get from the point A to point B that they need for the season they've written.
Or
And
most
I actually,
damning.
what's that?
Most damning is, their makeover was actually the best of the week.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to move on to another season that maybe was not season 16, but it was half as numbered. And that's, of course, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 8, or as we better know it, the moment Nico gone done and lost his mind and became obsessed with a motherfucking clown. Jimbo is... Oh, God, Jimbo's like peanut butter and rice. Jimbo is a staple of life.
You know what Jimbo's not? Not a soaking clock.
No, you dirty old man. Everything Jimbo gave us in All Stars was spectacular. To go back and find Jimbo's Canadian season is just so. To go back and find out that the only reason Jimbo is not the most robbed person in UK versus the world is because there's that one moment where Pangina screams into the night.
Yeah.
And that is the most heartbreaking moment in the history of television. Yeah. So Jimbo is the second.
Nobody cares about a robbery after there's been a genocide.
That was just, God, me looking at Jonah and being like, look how ashamed she is. Her lip is quivering. And he was like, I know. It's the discussion. You're fine. Just breathe. Anyway, Jimbo is the fucking best. But everybody in All Stars Season 8 was incredible. And one more time, let us just pray at the altar that is Candy wearing a Jeffrey Mack jacket. That is
Jeffrey Mack
damn Jeffrey Mack jacket. There is no cooler winner in the history of Project Runway, specifically because Karasan never won. And so I cannot get over how cool Candy looks. You know what, Candy? Do you want to know what I think? I think you are arrogant. And I think you get to be in a Jeffrey Mack jacket. Damn!
All-Stars 8 was really fun, but I think for our benefit or for not, a lot of backstage tea was really brought to light and forefront, and a lot of it could not be avoided. I think there was a lot of interpersonal conflict.
Said who?
Sensational. It doesn't sully my enjoyment of the season, but it does make me wary of how they treat these girls and how a lot of them were going to feel a lot different than the judges feel. And at the end of the day, they're just making a story, but people are allowed to feel how they feel. And I wish they treated the girls just a little bit better, a little bit kinder, maybe even a little bit fairer. That way the season could have been astronomical higher than I really do kind of rate it. As soon as I saw Jimbo and I knew Jimbo was on the cast, I kind of thought it was like, oh, it's Jimbo's season to lose. Because Jimbo's so good at Drag Race, it's insane. Like, it's actually not even funny. After a certain point, Jimbo is so good at Drag Race.
It's Dela. It's Dela levels of absolutely why are we fucking watching?
Truly. I love that season.
Kevo in the little box.
I'd like to go home.
I'm Jimbo. I voted for Jimbo. I'm gonna win.
I have to poop, and I don't like doing it in public. Can I go home, please?
Also, I think is pretty incredible. I think we got some of the best moments. Like Jimbo's snatch game as Shirley Temple.
You dirty old man.
Oh my god! And then that clip of her doing it in public where she reveals the outfit. That I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the episode. That's one of my top drag moments.
It's Sasha.
The crowd going wild. Yes.
Literally just Jessica Wilde. Point blank. Period. Jessica, like my queen, icon. Her EBT card no work.
She's not gonna leave without the card. She like the soft shell.
The soft shell taco.
Guacamole is expensive.
That Lala Ree. Hold on. One of my other favorite moments.
Come on.
A producer extraordinaire. Alexis
Come on.
Michelle, 2 moments. One when that improv challenge, Kahana, like as if she didn't know she wasn't gonna be fine.
Fuck.
And then 2, I'm so sorry for letting this happen. I'm not taking responsibility for the shit show that was this commercial, but I'm so sorry I let this happen.
Cousin to Lisa Loeb, Alexis Michelle. We only wish you could stay a little longer. I was talking about how for me Drag Race has become so much about the production. All Stars has become really fascinating because every single one of these girls knows the ropes now. And every single one of them is now a producer of themselves and their brand. And you can see the fight. Like, Drag Race has become a meta story of like the show Unreal, but for Drag Race competitors. And when you have stuff like Jeffrey Shepard and Johnny McGovern doing interviews with the girls after the fact, where you hear so much and you start to get lore about what was happening backstage and how, was what happened with Heidi a protest because she thought she was doing really well and she just decided, I'm going to get out. It certainly felt that way until Heidi goes and talks to Jeffrey Shepard and says, like, no, I was having mental issues. So the production isn't Heidi's nasty because she lost. It's Heidi is producing herself a safe way to live. And that's that now is a story. This whole thing with Candy and Jimbo, where it is known now, it's been confirmed multiple times, that Candy got the rug pulled out from under her about what the lip sync song was going to be. So she knew that they were trying to give Jimbo the win. That doesn't make me enjoy things less because Jimbo is still amazing. Everybody's amazing. It's almost like it kind of needs to start becoming a little more like Glam Slam if they want us to take the competition in a good spirit, because Candy's already an icon, a winner, doesn't need the crown of Drag Race. The crown kind of shouldn't matter. But she also now is getting a level of storyline out of how the show even came to be in the first place and who everyone is on the show. So it's become this really fascinating thing where you do watch girls, you watch the Jaxes and the Sugars and Spices, and you're like, oh, those girls were just pinballs in the machine. They had absolutely no fucking clue what was happening. Maybe your mistresses did. Sasha was fine. Some of the elders of the business knew, but then Sugar and Spice can come back for All Stars and absolutely
James Mansfield, somebody who seemed like a baby in their season.
Yeah, absolutely. Deer in the headlights. Absolutely, deer in the headlights. Did not seem like she knew what she was doing. I knew her from beforehand and knew she was very talented, and it was like kind of sad because she just didn't even get a chance to be funny. And then she shows up in her All-Star season, and if nothing else, you have nothing to lose because you know how it works. So either you go with it or you fight in your own way, and maybe you get something out of it. And that has become fun to watch in and of itself. But again, everybody in the audience, like, wise up and learn all of the cues, learn all of the signals, fight back against this idea that like the storyline you're being fed is what actually happened, because it makes you stupid to be that sort of passive.
If you're watching Untucked, you're getting double the breath.
Yeah, you're really figuring out what happened there. That's definitely, we were just talking about that. It's an absolute riot that like anybody would go to Untucked and be like, now I know what really happened.
I've discovered the truth because the same people who told me the other thing are telling me this other part.
Yep.
Those people exist though, because
they really do, and I'm speaking to them right now. Like, get wise the fuck up, because it's actually very fun to watch this from the perspective of like, what are all the gears turning behind the scenes? Because honestly, this is a great production crew, but they're not that smart. Nothing there is that well hidden.
When it was my mom with The Bachelorette, like, okay, Gen X boomers, sure. But, like,
Can you
we
believe the
grew up
love
on the
between these two?
internet. We grew up on the internet. We know
Practice
better.
your love.
And Kevo, it's that thing of where, like, when people say to me, have you the Britney Spears, have you read Book Me One More Time? It's, did you
Hit me
know that?
Book, please.
And I'm like, guys, come on. You cannot think that all of the things that she said that were, true revelations. Thank you so much for speaking your honest truth. But, like, some of the stuff where people are like, did you know that she was forced to do stuff? And I'm like, do you
Yeah.
think that young women had agency in the 90s in Hollywood? Like, that's not something that we we barely do now. And that's something that, like, has to change.
Well, and also don't mistake a girl being like, yes, I walked into the video shoot and said I would wear the outfit as consent. Like, yeah, technically somebody said yes to the thing, but that's very different when you're like, oh, it was because 4 people were standing around me saying if I didn't say yes, my career would be over, my family couldn't eat, and I would
yes to duress.
Right.
Judy Garland technically said yes to a lot of things.
Pills.
Should she have?
I
Pills.
killed
No.
you.
Oh my god, we're on topic. That's great. Good for us.
Does anybody have anything left on All Stars 8?
We should be getting that reveal relatively soon for All Stars
Oh.
9. My aggregator is saying May for when that comes out. Sir, that'll be fun.
And until
Probably get promo around there.
happens, make sure that you check out our coverage on the speculation for the cast of season 9 of All Stars, which I've been dropping all these links in the comments for a lot of our coverage, so check that stuff out.
And we're gonna before that get a UK versus the world.
Yep. UK versus the world. We've got a
Canada versus the world.
A Canada versus the world.
Yep.
There is a confirmed production order on a global All Stars.
Yep.
There's a lot to be excited for that, we are staying a little more spoiler free. But as soon as those deets drop, we will be all over them, like Alexis Michelle over an opportunity to create unnecessary drama and hurt terrifically talented queens on screen. I can't believe you would do this to me, Alexis!
Or Jessica Wilde happened to be in the background and making a face.
Jessica Wilde being in the background making faces is like Brooklyn Heights being in the background making faces of her season. It is the best thing she offered. She was every woman in that.
I will say we didn't actually get a chance to talk about the fact that rusical of Brooklyn Heights' life was unhinged.
It was Beautiful Heights.
Yeah, well, Brooklyn was doing ballet. She was known for being loose. Okay, just tell us. No secrets here.
It was also quite odd that the sorry not sorry moment was Evie's choreography and hair reveal, but it was Brooklyn's story. It was just very weird. I have come to love the fact that I don't understand at all the choice of Brooklyn being the person. And also they never mention Continental at all. It's very weird, but I love it.
Cannot be allowed to.
That's probably true.
I just wish they would do Rusicals a little bit more respect. I think that they are hiring very talented people, but what happens is committee vote kills it.
Yeah.
And what winds up being on air is just not that interesting. Those girls made that Rusical.
It's also, you are particularly tough to please for a Rusical. And I say this with love, not like you're a difficult person. You have such an ear and an eye and a creative thing. The rest of us plebes just sit there and watch the stupid Joan Crawford Rusical, and we go, they said wire hangers, it's funny, wire hangers. And you're actually having thoughts about the timing and the choreography. I don't have thoughts in my head, Nico. It's just bubbles in there. Leave me alone.
It's just that cute haircut.
I really do like the shell you keep around your bubbles. It's very handsome. I'm gonna look at it forever. So let's take a look then at a season of television that certainly had us screaming. I believe we are heading to our first international season, right, Kevo?
Yeah, Down Under, right?
Yep.
Down Under.
This was my second favorite season of Down Under. Two had a couple of queens I'm a little bit more attached to.
Spanky Jackson.
Spanky Jackson and Queen Kong. That is my my absolute top two from Down Under ever. Those are like two of the greatest queens in the universe. We are just so lucky to have them. This season of Down Under felt like a good batch of queens put in terrible situations. This was a season 7. This was a Drag Race season 7. Talent, weird edit. So I hope for better for every one of these unbelievably talented queens. I hope they all wind up in Australia versus things, but not like some sort of international skirmish, not like for whatever reason Australia is taking on the Falkland Islands or anything.
I really missed the transition to that artwork and was trying to figure out how Drag Race Down Under had done a secret invasion.
TK, me and you in the same wavelength, because I was like,
just, that's the bubbles in the head, man. This
That is
was
the nature of our show.
This was such a weird season. It really does come down to not understanding what RuPaul is doing down there, what her vibe is when she gets there. Are the prescriptions different? Is this where we go?
Different? Does it go the opposite direction?
Is this where we go post facelift and the medications are just a little extra heavy?
Is this the opposite of a face kini?
Is this my camera?
Bro.
And the girls were weird too, not in a bad way, but they were weird. They were real weird. If Gabrielle Labucci didn't stop mentioning farts, I was really going to go to the fucking UN about it.
You gonna go to the embassy?
This gave us piss. This was literally go piss girl.
Bumpa Love doing some.
Oh my god, yeah.
Talent show number about
this
animals
is each
pissing.
one of my contestants
As
a dog
Pissing.
pissing, and then Rue saying from the audience, "You piss now." How do you piss?
Show us. Do you?
Nobody can keep their nipples contained. Floor is on a totally other country season of Drag Race.
Well, Floor talking about gangbangs as opposed to.
Oh my god.
This season was wild.
Weird.
Wild
and crazy kids.
I mean, it also gave us. You almost had the tune right there. Beep 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 beep
beep beep beep beep beep beep
beep beep beep beep
BMX bitches.
Yeah,
RuPaul watching that movie the night before and saying, "Let's do this as a challenge."
You figure it out. I just give you the ideas.
RuPaul literally on her third blunt going, "Nah, I don't care.
All
do
right.
this."
Well, guess we're going to be doing this. Ain't off of some crocodiles, mate.
I also love that. This season truly was wild. On the positive note, Isis Avis Loren, who is the winner of this season, I truly enjoyed. She's one of my, she's up there for me. I really enjoyed her performance throughout the entire season. She had a pretty good season of like being good or okay or like excelling above everybody else. And a queen of many talents, one of the best designers. Bring her back for Glam Slam. Fly her in. Get her a visa for like 2 weeks and let her come.
It's everywhere you want to be. Oh my God! Now I get that. Okay, sorry. A visa allows you to go other places, and a visa, the credit card, is everywhere you want to be. Oh my God, yeah. Anyway, TK, that probably wasn't news for you, but yikes for me. Did you have any real parting thoughts on Down Under before we just look forward to I hope a number of strong seasons from this incredible element of the franchise?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts. This is a weird one. This is a real wild card throughout the English-speaking ones for me, especially because it is an English-speaking Drag Race, but Australia is very tied to Asian cultures, and a lot of those queens are going to export to places like Thailand and to places in Asia that have big drag culture, literally just because it is less money to get out to those places. And so Drag Race Down Under is a little bit weird. The budgets are weird. Again, it's that thing of like, you've got Perth, you've got Melbourne, you got a few cities, but then like there's just a giant desert of nothing in the middle. Like there's a lot of places that you are not going and that are completely uninhabited.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it sounds like from what you're saying, the 3 parts that Down Under services are Australia, New Zealand, and Dune.
Yep, that's basically it.
Maybe Tasmania.
You know, Australia's got a population of 25 million. New Zealand has a population of like 5. So again, like this isn't even Canada numbers where you really, to get a big part of your country's audience, you don't actually have to please that many people. So you can be one of these really weird out there queens. And on top of that, it's kind of difficult to go anywhere else. So it's worth it to be one of those weird out there queens there. But it's just, it's fascinating to see how everything translates place to place. Because I think as much as Ru has tried to be like, the classic example is before drag became popular through Drag Race, British queens didn't really lip sync that much. They performed live a lot. That, everybody in America learned that from Charlie Hides just giving up, but it was a really true thing.
No,
just
it was didn't. Her back.
It was her rib. It was her back. It was her ankle. It was she did not have a
bone. Got it.
She did not have a Boniva at the time.
Did not have Trinity K. Bonet. Got it.
Boniva season 17.
It's me. I'm your geriatric drag queen.
Dances to Bon Iver songs.
So I kind of lost my train. Oh yeah. So now they lip sync for your life every episode of UK Drag Race, but like that's our drag culture being imported over there. There's so much stuff that we're just picking up little subtleties of the nation's flavor. Which can be super fun, but I hope as time goes on, the local culture sort of starts to overtake the Drag Race format a little bit more, because I think that may be where things got a little weird here. Maybe it's just that nobody in Australia cares if you're wearing a strapless and your little dude nipples are just peeking out all over the place. But RuPaul sure doesn't like it, so you're in trouble now, dude who played Jesus. I forget its name already.
Ashley Madison.
Thank you, nailed it.
Also, really fast before, because I would love to hear Kevo's final thoughts before we wrap up. This was also the one where Ivory Glaze was literally the protagonist for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
She got bullied, and then she fainted, and we had to wait to have a lip sync.
Holly Golightly over there. Just everybody thought this was the next star. Also, what a waste of Murder on the Dance Floor. Had anybody known that Saltburn was going to actually change the game entirely, I would never have given Murder on the Dance Floor.
Wow.
Also, Sophie Ellis-Bextor then showed up on UK. Just what a wild...
what a year.
Welcome to my TED Talk about Murder on the Dance Floor, the most important, underrated song of the early 2000s that you fucking kids today know nothing about. Anyway.
Grandpa.
Murder on the Dance Floor is this year's Running Up That Hill.
Yeah, it is 100% that.
Goodbye.
And you know what? They're both old, so it works.
Yeah.
I dropped in the comments for anybody who wanted to check out what we were discussing earlier.
Yes.
That is this episode here, which the cover is Solar Opposites, because that is, like I was saying before, that is our show. We cover a lot of different things in each different episode. I'm probably going to come up with an episode guide document this year, and I'll start posting a link to that so people can look through and be like, oh, this is where the drag coverage was.
Oh, wow. So that'll be like a link to the past.
Yeah, exactly. I'll make a cute little thing in, I don't know, is there a thing like Hyrulean script? Is that a
There
thing?
is. I will get you a font. Also, we didn't talk about Hollywood Star saying she was 28 when she's 35.
Oh, no. I said all you have to do is lie about your age. I already got in a dig.
Okay.
While I was looking up what episode we would have covered the talent show in, I passed the episode where they give the dogs a makeover after Piss Like a Dog, and was like, God, yeah, no, this was a really fun season. We
It's
had a lot
absolutely
of fun
fucking wild.
So definitely check out all our coverage of this one.
I believe our last season in our list is the season that just ended, UK season 5. I don't care. it was so many talented queens just done so dirty. Whereas we thought that season 3 had some weird edit choices from Down Under, but generally, we just raved about it. Like by the end, we felt really insulted by UK5. That was such a, talk about a waste of talent. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it's that too many people have a say in how that product comes out, and ultimately it leaves it feeling a little over homogenized. But I'm really eager to see where the UK decides to go forward from here. And just one last thing on Down Under, Reese, you're a national treasure. We love you. You are an adorable little prince, and I love your little lisp, and I love your cute little ginger face, and we love you.
Oh yeah, looking forward to seeing another season of them.
In retrospect, how do you feel about the Panto musical? That's for everybody, but
I think they tried something new, and I'm impressed.
Yeah.
But that cannot be a repeat event. You got 4 years before you can bring that back.
I
get that.
I enjoyed it in terms of learning what Panto is, and that kind of bridging the introduction of a lot of people overseas of this is kind of what Panto is. And it was really fun. I think everybody there had a lot of fun, and you can tell how much they enjoyed doing it. That was the episode of the start of the weird production choices.
Yeah.
I think you could do it again, but it would have to be a wildly, wildly, wildly different style of story.
Yeah.
They covered a
Which,
lot of...
Panto is the same story every time, so...
Yeah, so I think that would be hard. Exactly.
Yeah, this was a super weird season. Not even... I don't think everything they decided to do worked. But I give some respect for big swings. I think Roommates was a smart casting move because it is very common for drag queens to room together, and drag queens are all insane. So you knew you were getting something out of it. Unfortunately, guys, I don't know, across the board, World of Wonder, vetting, background checks, psychological stuff. God, do I love Caramel, but I just think if you are in any way starting on hormones, production should probably say, we're going to get you back next season. Now, I don't know enough. Who knows? There might be a lot more to that story, but it does seem like a lot of times people show up on Drag Race and there should medically be somebody who's like, this is probably not going to be your best casting choice or the best time for you to be here. It probably shouldn't be that difficult to figure out that a dude is sexually harassing people. I don't know. Maybe it is. The fans sure seem to find out real quick. But, they put together a fascinating bunch. And then it just felt like the thing we talked about earlier. They just were so not prepared for who excelled, when they excelled, why they excelled. Ultimately, I thought Ginger was so great and such a strong contender, but it just felt like writing and editing were not prepared for that fact until too late. It felt like they were really ready for Kate Butch to be a huge contender, and then when she wasn't, they really just edited her dirty so that she absolutely could not seem like even good, let alone a competitor.
They made her seem like she had Kate Bush's career 2 years ago.
Exactly. Then she did not get a Stranger Things moment. So it was weird all around. But again, found it fascinating. Loved to watch every little moment and just be like, what the fuck happened here?
Kevo, I feel like this was one where you weren't quite as excited the way you get about even Canada. How did you feel about UK season 5?
there were some queens that we liked, but I think week to week it was, like everyone's saying, not our favorite. It was a bit of a letdown. This was in that like black hole of like really bad library reads and snatch games that we were watching all at once, right?
Yeah.
That was rough.
It was a bad year for funny.
It was old seasons at the same time that we were watching too. We were like, we just can't catch a break. The old, the new, just all of it. It was bad. And that's always such a disappointment when the challenges that are coming every season end up being a disappointment. So that's something that has me having a concern for season 16. But you just got to hope for the best. Well, yeah, there will be another season next year, so we'll see what comes then.
I love you bringing up season 16 and bringing up things we hope and don't hope for, because I want to give everybody a chance to say their big wish for 2024's season 16. I think my wish is actually kind of in the spirit of what Kevo just said. For me, I just hope no one wants a hot dog real bad at Snatch Game. There is definitely a formula to this franchise at this point, and it feels stretched a little thin. I would love to see a little bit more joyful creativity in the artistry. Lux Noir London set the bar for reference queen impossibly high. Good fucking luck. Reference queens need not apply for a couple of years. It's going to be tough. And so I think the thing to then do is experience the joy of originality, like Sasha Colby, and in some ways even like Lucy LaDuca, who is pretty original, because Lux said this is a reference queen for the next decade. Good luck. So that's what I'm hoping for, a creative season 16. How about you, Joj?
I'm hoping my biggest wish for season 16 is I want to be blown away like I was in season 15 by even better lip syncs. We have a couple of queens I have my eyes on who I can tell are really good performers. Not that I hope people are in the bottom, but like I hope people are in the bottom so I get to see them perform.
Same.
And I think that that's fair. I think that as much as I even said earlier, I don't want to set my expectations too high. I think lip syncs are so iconic, and when they get phoned in, it's rough. It's supposed to be the cherry on the episode. And so I get that. And I am looking forward to hopefully some amazing lip syncs. This is going to be such an interesting thing. I still vividly remember the four of us watching the premiere and like getting stoked that it was happening and deciding to do it and watching it live and experiencing it for the first time. And the shock of Irene being eliminated. And I have such a better understanding of that moment and what a queen like that really would have represented in a previous season. And so I'm really fascinated to see, now that I have all this experience and knowledge, who will be the first to go and how am I going to feel about that now that I have a better understanding of what goes into all this.
How about you, TK? What is your RPDR wish for 2024? TK?
You really nailed it with the, I just want to see the creativity get a chance to shine, the joyful creativity. True, what I would like that to take the form of is Dawn and Megami just destroying the competition. Really rooting for those two. Megami is a blast to follow on Twitter. Now, so here's my thing about this season. Already one of the big changes behind the scenes and in production for me, ever since the announcement, the external lives of these queens and their lives on social media are a little bit of a show. I'm seeing them, every time the announcement comes, I follow a couple. In this case, it has been Dawn Megami. But like, I see all of them posting about hanging out together, making little like, just like they'll point to a meme and be like, wait till you get to episode 6. Or like
girl friendships.
point to like just not even a look that a drag race queen is doing, but just a look in fashion and be like, this looks like one of my runways. I'm very curious to know if they're doing it, if production said you're allowed to do it, or if production said you had better do it. But something really has changed, even from 15 to 16. Maybe it is this group of girls that they are actually this close. We did have a bunch of New York queens this season, and those are the ones that are more associated. But I do think we are running into a thing, and we're seeing it with things like Glam Slam as well, where like some off the main track work is actually becoming really important to the formula. And you know, it's something that we've talked about with comic creators before, where if you are an author of like YA with 5 million Instagram followers, Marvel would love for you to come write She-Hulk. If you are going to be starring in Ms. Marvel, we would love for you to write some Ms. Marvel. And I think with some of these girls that get followings already because drag is so popular, and production sees like, oh, she looks good immediately in the promo, she's about to get another 100,000 followers, makes a lot of sense to have those girls take photos getting hot pot together. And I think it's interesting. I'm excited to see how all of that plays into what is coming this season.
Can't wait. And I can't wait to do it all with you guys again next year. We still do our wonderful comic coverage on Wednesdays. We still do, TV and movies, all kinds. But it's just the best part is really just being the four of us hanging out, being, a family. It's been unbelievable growing our brand in 2023. I can't wait for 2024. And just the enormity of our interests and product line. That said, I want to hear more from you guys about what you guys want to see us cover, you guys being the fans, about what you guys want to see us cover. We think you guys are just the best. So please keep liking, subscribing, commenting, and more, because we just think you guys are the best. And it'd be impossible to do this without people to share this love with. That's the big theme of our show.
These covers that I just flashed were just the month of December for us, folks. So we have a whole bunch of really awesome coverage for you to check out. We love making this show. We love hanging out and talking, and we definitely want you to enjoy the stuff that we are talking about.
Well, until next time, Jonah, where can everybody find you on the interwebs?
Hi, I won't be in this box probably next time. You can follow me over on Twitter and Instagram and any other social media at Peak Jonah. That's P-E-A-K.
Actually, you probably will be.
Yeah, because, we got the premiere on Friday.
As we keep reminding Nico, the premiere of Drag Race 16 is not in 2 weeks.
It's Friday.
It's like
Friday.
Yeah, it's like one swing of a Godzilla's tail away. So, Kevo, you make this show look so beautiful every single time. We would just be endlessly lost without your production amazingness. Where can everybody find you online?
Thank you. And yeah, it's been a really fun month. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I'm sad to see the holiday season over, but I really had a lot of fun enjoying spending it as a family, and I'm looking forward to spending 2024 as a family and as a team with everyone out there. And in the interim, you can find me on the interwebs at Kevoreally. That's Kevoreally. Teak, what about you, sir?
Me, I am TK. You can find me at TK Elemental. I finally started using my Instagram again. It's mostly thirst traps, but occasionally I will post pictures of a breakfast sandwich that I just ate this morning that changed my life. So, just life. And Happy New Year to everybody. This is my parents' anniversary, and they're divorced, so good luck out there.
Work.
Hope for the future. And you guys can find me all over the internet at Nico Action. That's SoundCloud, Instagram, Twitter, probably email addresses. Just, come get that Nico Action. It's always good, right? And we love all of you, but there's 3 things I need you to do. Number 1, I need you to be brave. Number 2, I need you to evolve daily. And number 3, I need you to have a safe new year, right? So whether you're going out, you're seeing people, you're chilling at home or whatnot, make sure you do it safely.
Don't drive drunk.
Do not drive drunk or under the influence of any other stuff.
Stay home drunk.
Stay home drunk.
That's where the TV is.
Get drunk. Text your ex at home. Don't leave.
Don't
Text
do
your
that.
other ex.
No.
Still stay at home.
No, put both your exes in a group chat, then leave.
Yes.
I
This
can
is
never find
fire.
my phone. That has been like the greatest thing in the world, and you can't really send drunk texts from your smartwatch. So I always stay safe. I definitely party safe.
Respect.
I mostly just get on Discord and message the 3 of you. So yeah, it's great. So I want everybody to do those 3 things. I think you're all amazing. Kevo, that's the cutest outfit. And okay, everybody have a great night. Bye.
Me.
Bye.